Tonight on Bent TV, we have Squeal with Lisa-Skye, talking all things bisexual. We have a new segment for you called G Factor, where the girls tackle relationships. But first, we start with Ginni, who recently visited New York and caught up with the executive editor of Huffington Post Gay.
Hey, this is Ginni on Bent TV, back for another episode of Entirely Powered by Ginni. Now, I'm coming to you from one of the greatest cities in the world, one of my personal favourites. It's the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. New York City. During my time here, I've had the privilege to sit down with some awesome talent. Let's kick off with Huffington Post Gay. Now, you've all heard of Huffington Post, headed up by Ariana Huffington. It's the online destination for news, blogs, and original content on everything you can imagine. And you guessed it, there's even a blog dedicated to the LGBTIQ community called Huffington Post Gay. Headed up by executive editor Noah Michelson and deputy editor Curtis Wong, Huffington Post Gay Voices is one of the most read online LGBTIQ publications in the world. I went to Huffington Post on the Lower East Side of this city, and considering the legends that have walked these halls on a daily basis, I thought it'd be best that I ditch the white t-shirt and put on something a little more fashionable. Now, this is kind of a new, concept because it's been around for 3 years.
Yeah.
Who thought of it? Did Ariana have anything to do with it? Did she kind of go, Noah, I want you, and I want you, and I want you to make this happen?
That is exactly what happened. I was working at Out Magazine, which is another gay magazine, and they came to me and said, we want to start a queer section, and, would you be interested in applying? And I said, yeah, and it made sense. We were doing so much queer stuff already at the Huffington Post, there just wasn't one place to put it all. Right. So why not put it all in one place and then also expand and really reach out and try and cover as many different aspects of queer life as we could, both in America but also around the world. So it's everything from politics to entertainment, but also, sex and relationships and families. So they brought me in and I really kind of luckily got to do whatever I wanted. They put a lot of trust in my hands and this is a dream job. I wake up every morning and think I'm the luckiest guy in the world because I get to do something that I love and something I care about. And, I got an email today from someone and he said, he's a singer-songwriter and we featured one of his videos. And he said, you changed my world. Because if you get something on the Huffington Post, thousands of people are going to see it. Hundreds of thousands of people sometimes. So, we get to do a lot of work and really we can see change happen in a very literal way, which is pretty cool.
Out magazine that Noah once worked for isn't just any old LGBT publication. It's the leading gay fashion and lifestyle brand in the world and hosts the prestigious Out 100 star-studded event. And Noah worked his way up from intern to editor. Given that you worked for Out magazine before you're working for Huffington Post Gay now, obviously a lot of the content there is LGBTIQ. Your background, was it kind of skewed that way too, or did you have a more kind of open content?
My background is poetry.
Really?
I'm a poet, yeah. Isn't that crazy? So I came to New York to go to New York University, NYU, to get my graduate degree in poetry.
Wow.
And I did that for 3 years, and I got to write my poems, and it was amazing. And then I graduated, and I realized there's no work for a poet. You know what I mean? So I had thousands of dollars in debt from going to poetry school, and I needed a job. So I thought I was 29 years old, and I had no career. Freaked me out.
Yes.
So I applied at Out Magazine, and it was just an unpaid internship. And I worked 2 days a week, and then I started working 3 days a week, and then 4 days a week. And finally, I wouldn't leave. It was supposed to be 3 months, and I refused to leave.
Yeah.
And they hired me and paid me nothing. And I said, I'm going to make this my career because I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of worked my way up, and then I came to the Huffington Post.
Wow, what a story.
Yeah.
And in New York City, it's a very classic story. I've heard so many people just moved here. They used to hand out flyers so they could work out at gyms.
Right.
And, you worked for free at this publication. Now you're heading up one of the biggest gay online publications in the world.
It's true.
What a story.
Yeah, and I think it's, like I said, I was 29 years old and I didn't have a career. And so there were other interns working with me who were 19, 18, not really doing the same work I did. I always tell people, if you want to get somewhere, you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
And so I would work, I would work 4 days a week, 5 days a week for free, and then I would go to another job to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And I would take any writing opportunity they gave me. The dumbest things I didn't want to write about, I still wrote about them. And it paid off, So I always think you can show up in New York, but if you don't actually show up and aren't actually willing to do the work, your charm's only going to get you so far,
Exactly.
So I think it's an exciting story, but it was a lot of sweat. It didn't just happen, so.
Do you revisit the poetry at any stage, like maybe on Valentine's Day?
Well, yeah. Actually, all of my poems are about, murder and killing my ex-boyfriends. Yeah, it's true. It's pretty gruesome. But, I still write. I actually just had some poems come out in a journal recently, and I love it. It's very different than what I do here. So it's kind of a release in some ways to write. It's not quite so, conversational or narrative.
How does Huffington Post Gay Voices keep its content international and not just to the confines of New York City? Deputy Editor Curtis Wong hails from a background of working internationally, spending some time in journalism in the Czech Republic. You have such a great portal here because even from Australia we get people jumping on your hashtags, your articles. How do you keep the content so, relevant and so original?
We always try to look at a specific news story. For example, recent things have been, the issues with gays in Russia, and also the issue around gay marriage and Chick-fil-A. I don't know if you're familiar with both of those. As opposed to reporting something just straightforward, we try to, bring in a variety of sources, also try to present as much of an unbiased view, but still sort of with an advocacy angle. And then also, try and have fun with it too. Always bring an audio-visual component to it, whether that's in terms of photos, video, sound bites, things like that. So that it's not just a standalone news story, that there are multiple components to it.
Take inspiration from these journeys, from interns to travelers to editors of one of the world's leading LGBTIQ publications. Just know that whatever your dream may be, yes, you may fall a few times, but if you get back up and you're still smiling, anything is possible. Until next time, this is Ginni signing off Bent TV.
Welcome to the G Factor. You're on Bent TV, and today we have Joe, Aramis, and myself, Simone, and we're going to be talking about relationships. So, who would like to start off? Joe, would you like to start off with, in terms of dating, what's the best?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Okay.
Give us
Well,
some
you're
dating,
asking her.
Give us some dating tips,
Well,
Joe.
I have been on one of those sites, a dating site.
Right.
And I
Just
must say it was not successful at all.
Never?
Oh, no. Those people on there, they've been out of a relationship for 5
Minutes.
No, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They're on there complaining about their exes. It goes on and on and on. So it's not a good place.
Well, that's a good filter, isn't it?
Well, it's a good filter.
Well, bars aren't really good either.
No.
Knowing that.
You've got some experience in that
Oh,
area.
well, you're not really meeting the person.
No.
You're...
It's the persona. The
Well,
alter
not
ego
when you go to
is
the
out
bar.
there.
I mean, I'm not me.
No.
Who are you then?
Who want to go out with me when I'm out at a bar?
Why would you want to be you? Well, the whole idea of going out is to be someone else. Fantasy almost,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So what would be the best place?
I think a friend of a friend. Can't go wrong with a friend of a friend. They know them.
Then
they
it
can
gets
tell
awkward.
you.
What about an ex of a friend?
Ooh, taboo. I'm not sure about the
Given
exes.
that the community is so small, I mean, eventually you're going to end up with
It
someone's
happens.
ex.
Yes, it happens. You're sitting in their couch, you're laying in their bed. It's all of that. You
know.
can have
So you
half of
can't say to
everything.
people, you can't go out with my exes. I mean, especially like if you have a lot.
I don't have a problem with someone dating my ex because I can tell them what to look out for. What went wrong?
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, it's true.
Well, the community's so small though,
It is.
so it's very easy
small.
to be bumping into an ex.
What do you think is the best place to meet somebody?
Well, I met my partner at a gay and lesbian business networking.
Oh, of course you did.
Lemons with a twist or something, isn't it?
Exactly,
Like-
Globe. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Exactly.
Did you go straight after work?
Yeah, pretty much.
So
I think it's
easy.
better when it's random, you know, like
Like
the
in a
movies.
supermarket?
In the yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
have you ever met anyone in a
Supermarket,
supermarket?
on the train.
Really? What do you do? This apple is it good for you?
You just bump into them. You stalk them around the aisles.
Are you standing there filling the melons? I mean, what do you do in the supermarket?
Pretty much you're going shopping anyway, aren't you?
You are.
Yeah, and you can check out what they're buying, so you know, like that's the best.
So if they've got all
filtering.
this sort of junk
True.
food, it's probably the best.
Yeah,
not the best
true.
thing.
You know, like
Yes.
you know, meat eaters, vegetarian, vegan. Watch out for a vegan trolley.
Do you have a preference?
Vegans.
I prefer non-meat eaters.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Fish is okay.
So do you have any protein at all in your diet?
I don't need protein. My body makes protein.
True. True.
Oh, what do you
It
mean?
does.
Hang on, what was that? I was a bit slow
You're not a
then.
meat lover, are you?
No,
So
no.
you don't eat.
Of course I eat.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and then if you know, you can check out the trolley, and if you like, if there's tampons and things, you know, the premenstrual, stay away, come back next week.
What about the no-name things in the
Oh,
trolley?
home
Oh
brand.
no, stingy. It doesn't want to
Stay away from
spend.
the home brands. I never buy home brand. Never.
No, me either. Oh,
Really?
well, sometimes.
And
You're
then,
like
you know,
have you been sucked in by labels?
Yeah. And organic, if they're organic.
Organic.
I mean,
its own little section in the supermarket. Organic.
but organic's really good because it means that they're got no preservatives.
Okay.
Who?
The person.
What are we talking about? I'm confused.
So back to dating. All right.
All right,
Okay,
we
so
don't-
pick up lines.
All right.
Tell us
Pick
some
up
pick
up
up lines.
lines.
Okay,
Oh,
mine is,
God.
I suppose, a bowl of cornflakes is out of the question.
Right. Okay.
Do you get it?
I would never talk to you if you said that to me. Ever. I think you're
Really?
a freak, I suppose.
Because you don't
would
like cornflakes. Why?
I wouldn't know why you were trying to say that. Like, that's not enticing.
I'm making you breakfast.
Yes.
Oh, well, why
you
don't you just say like poached eggs on toast with
avocado,
Oh,
exactly.
cornflakes.
Well, cornflakes.
has that anymore?
Well, no. We would usually have a NutriBullet now. Shake.
I suppose a protein shakes. Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah, cornflakes. It's,
not
a
really
bit dated,
romantic, is
isn't
it?
it? What about you?
Yeah.
What is your pickup line?
My
Successful one.
successful one. I would say that your night is just about to change.
Oh, I like
In today.
Oh, your night is just about to get. Your night is just about
to get
better.
sleepy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. How
Yeah,
about
but you
yours?
look into their eyes.
Oh, when you say it.
Yeah.
Okay. So your night's
Stay away from her.
Yeah.
How about this one?
Okay.
I don't want to get sucked
You're
into that
not-
trap.
Hug. Your night's about to get a little bit better.
No.
Couldn't possibly get any better than this.
I
I
tell you
could
why.
just have it right back at you.
I tell you why it's about to get better. You're paying me a drink.
Really?
Well,
What would be my pickup line? Depends. I'm going with the supermarket pickup.
you are.
And I would probably check out, the ingredients in there and say, hey, what are you making with that?
Oh.
Can I come over and maybe we can do it together?
That's right. Do you like cooking?
No. But I can pretend to like cooking.
See, then here's the thing: you'd be giving mixed messages to her
Well,
because she would think.
Correct.
if you want
Trickster.
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 Well, we've already see.
I don't have to like cooking to cook. I can just cook and despise it.
See, but here's the thing:
Nobody does anything. You don't do anything for yourself, I should say. Isn't that true? You'd be the sort of person to have
Outsources
somebody
everything.
that does everything for you.
Oh, what?
Oh, sorry.
That,
apart from the
really?
sex part.
I worked my butt off and I do it all myself.
So you
Yeah,
don't
but if
have
you had
servants.
someone, Would you do it?
If I had someone. I don't know. They don't stick around long enough to say, put that one to the test. No, I always end up doing it because I'm usually better at it.
You're an Aries. Okay.
All right, so we know where to meet them. Yeah.
We've got
We
pickup
know
line.
the pickup line.
We're on a roll here.
What's next? First date.
Yeah.
Do's
What do
and
you do?
don'ts for your
No, when do you
first
when do you
date.
call?
Oh, the call. Oh, yeah. Do you wait a few days?
No,
You get the number.
I text straight away.
So do I. I don't play games. It's just right in.
So you
with
don't
text
call, you
messaging,
text?
you take the you just text.
So that's where you've gone wrong, Joe. Okay.
Oh, really?
You've left
Did I
it too
ring?
long.
I go, hello.
No, you've left it too long.
Oh, so... But I don't
You
text
game
them.
player.
Yeah.
Oh, player.
Wow. See?
Yeah. And that's why you're still looking for the one.
So 2 days?
She's got the
Text or
one,
text
so-
straight
And you
away.
are the one.
I have the one.
And so is that first text the let's go out on a date, or do you go,
No,
how are you
no.
going, let's hang
It was
out,
great to meet you. I would
I
ring.
think something witty.
and leave them to come back with, do you want to go out?
I know. I just think you just go direct.
Oh gosh,
So
I'm not dating any of you two.
What would you do?
I don't know, something.
So you want a bit of
fun
foreplay, do you, first on the text?
Oh,
Do you want a bit of flirting?
sexting.
You want a bit of flirting
Oh
on the
no,
text?
not straight away.
Oh, wow, that's where I'm going wrong, obviously.
Sorry, Joe, we have to wrap it up for today,
That's fine.
but we'll discuss this further. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll elaborate on relationships next time. I hope it was good for you as it was for us. Bye.
You're watching Bent TV. Please visit our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and visit our website to find ways that you can support Bent TV. Back after the break with Squeal.
Y'all need to watch under y'all damn nuts.
Hi there, you're watching Squeal. I'm Lisa-Skye and I'm joined with Nate and Leah and we're talking bisexuality. Hello.
Hi.
So tonight we're talking about assumptions. So when you identify as queer or bisexual or pansexual, do you often bump up against assumptions that frustrate you?
Yeah, I feel like there's the assumption that, well, I feel like no one's ever bi enough or pan enough. Like, unless you were literally, seen with, 10 people of every possible gender, like right then, like pashing all of them equally in perfect,
A sex entourage.
synchronicity, yeah, then, you're never like pansexual enough to call yourself that. I feel like people often think that really you're only with the person that you're with, even if you're poly. So I feel like when I was, in a long-term relationship with a man, I always felt like had people respond to me like I wasn't really queer enough to be in queer spaces. And I feel like now that I'm like my current relationship, I feel like I am not attracted to enough men enough at the time to call myself bisexual. Or something, I don't know. So
Yeah, well, I tend to chop and change. I mean, when I was in Edinburgh, I couldn't bring any of my cocks because I was away for 3 months, and the luggage limits, Nate, the luggage limits.
yeah.
So all I could bring was some rope because I'm a shibari nerd now. That's a thing, and I became so cock-centric because I didn't have my own peen, and it just kind of.
I can't identify with that at all, but go on, yeah.
Cut to me like sitting in the middle of my lounge room saying to my husband, which one? And him going, none, you need your projector, you're doing a show.
It's really fun seeing it go through the security thing because it's just like, like
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. And watching everyone's face as they try to not visibly react.
Well, they took away my gaffer at Perth Airport because they said that it was a weapon.
Your
And-
gaffer tape?
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm in showbiz, I need my gaffer. Also, I use it for sex. But, yeah. Anyway, sidebar. What do you think the difference between queer, pansexual and bisexual is, if any?
I feel like actually a lot of those terms, because everyone uses it in so many different ways. It's not that they mean different things, it's that they come from like almost different cultures. Like in some ways I feel like the difference between queer and bi is actually more just that like more younger people call themselves queer and older people more likely to call themselves bi. It's not like, you know, so much different in who you're attracted to or, you know, how you feel about your sexuality necessarily.
Yeah,
it's like a
that's
cultural
interesting.
thing. Yeah.
And Nate, because you identify primarily as queer rather than bisexual, do you find that the labels are different? Do you like labels?
I'm okay with labels. Like, it doesn't really bother me. I kind of just think that people are people, and you know, if labels help people understand me, then I'm okay with sort of labels.
Yeah.
And
Well, they're the beginning of a conversation. They're not the end of one.
Yeah, and I mean, I like queer. I think that I find, and you know, in terms of when people talk about being bisexual, is often there's this kind of question of, oh yeah, but who, you know, do you really like?
Yeah.
But which one would, you know, if there was a guy and a girl in front of you, who would you pick? And it's kind of
the
like,
better
well,
one.
Yeah,
The better
the one
one,
that's into the
probably.
weirdest stuff. That could be just me.
Yeah.
Daddy likes weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a thing, because I kind of feel like there's a thing where people think that bi women are really straight and bi men are really gay, and that to me, my theory for where that comes from is that it only matters whether or not you have sex with men. So if you have sex with men, you're basically straight if you're a woman, and if you have sex with men and you're a guy, you're basically gay because no one really cares what women do.
Well, because women are just fun.
Women
They're just
are just,
funsies.
you know, we don't count really too much. But I don't know if that still is the case.
It still very much is. I get really annoyed if I have male lovers. You know, I can talk about, you know, having sex with ladies until the cows come home, and then I can talk about having sex with the lady cows. But as soon as I mention the bull, they get all like, oh, hang on.
They get jealous.
Yeah, so like, you know, it's kind of titillating for me to talk about my sex exploits with women. And this happens with even like, you know, kind of, I use my vagina as a social engineering tool because I'm awesome. So I only go out with rampant male feminists. But even then, it's still, you know, they bump up against when I say, oh, that guy had such an elegant peen. They're like, whoa, get back to the nurse who squirted. What? So, Nate, your thoughts?
The nurse who squirted distracted me, actually. Yeah.
Actually, no, the elegant. That's
The elegant.
Elegant. Yeah.
There's elegant
But
peens
not
out there.
eloquent, just very silent. Very quiet dick. Sorry.
Oh, you're ostensibly a top, so you like a quiet dick, I'm assuming.
I like quiet. No, go on. No, squealing is good. Seeing as we're on this, yeah.
But yeah, what are some assumptions that you find that you're constantly trying to educate people on?
I mean, most of the assumptions that I'm trying to educate people on is the fact that I'm a trans guy, and so there's issues in that when I'm talking to a guy, is that it's kind of like, well, oh, but you're not a gay guy and all those sorts of stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm not actually a gay guy. So you're kind of right. But, you know, there's that's the kind of more challenging one. And then when I talk about that, you know, I'm into women as well, and then it's kind of like, oh, but, and it kind of blows their brains a little.
Yeah. So outside of online dating, how do we tackle that problem? Let's nut this out, friends.
Online dating. I don't know, right?
We live in the future, embrace it. Yeah, I mean, like I say, you know,
I feel like it's less of a problem with people I'm actually dating or have tried to date, probably because I am very like a say lots of things type person. But yeah, I feel like a lot of assumptions are more things that people hold those assumptions who might not really actually like ask you about it. Actually, yeah, I was reading something the other day where someone was like, oh, I've never had the chance to tell someone I'm bisexual because they've never asked. You know, they'll assume that and then just not actually like talk to you about it. But
well, I just assume everyone's queer until proven otherwise, because it genuinely baffles me how someone could be interested in, you know, someone who, like, only the one type of person. But again, that's because I'm into weird stuff. So, Nate, your thoughts? I just love doing that.
Yeah, it's
Nate,
nice.
your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have any. That's the problem. No, I do like queer until proven otherwise, though. Yeah.
At the switchboard, do you get people calling up with this kind of bi panic of like, well, I don't know what I am?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really, really common call. We get a lot of things about coming out and all those sorts of stuff, and you know, bisexuality also confuses people, and they have to talk about it as well, and they have their own, the issues that I think we've spoken about, really.
So, final thoughts. How best to score with a bi person?
Ask.
Yeah.
Ask, disclose. Wonderful. All right, thank you, Leah. Thank you, Nate.
All right.
And thank you for watching Squeal. I've been Lisa-Skye.
You've been watching Ben TV. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again next week. My name is Gavin Henderson. For now, good night.